1, 2, 3.
Let the magic begin!
Hello and welcome back to Let the Magic Begin. My name is Elise and I'm your host. This is episode 4, Behind the Magic. And today I'm joined with 2 brand new guests. Say hi to the people for me.
Hey y'all.
Hey there.
And go ahead and introduce yourselves for me.
All right, well, I am Kiera Sweden, a senior political science major here at Alabama A&M. I am also the current president of the Bulldog Players Organization, and I come from the Motown Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, baby.
And I am Kedrick Scribner, a senior entrepreneurship major from Baltimore, Maryland, attending Alabama A&M University.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much. So you two are not from the South. What brought you down to Alabama?
Essentially, I'm used to the cold, and I wanted to be somewhere warm, and also wanted to be at an HBCU. So I applied here, and the package they gave me, it couldn't be beat.
My story is similar. I got an opportunity and I couldn't say no. So I packed it all up and took a chance. And here I am.
Well, you guys are both part of the Bulldog Players. Walk me through how you guys came to that. Was that a part of your, original plan to be a part of theater? Did you kind of fall into it? How'd you guys get there?
Actually, for me, last year, I came in as a transfer student. So I came in last year, and one of the requirements here was theater appreciation. So I ended up taking theater appreciation with an amazing professor, Professor Kelly Brook. I took her, and she hooked me up with Steven and Miss Kuhn, which is basically like professors here at A&M who are also heavily involved with the fantasy partnership here. And basically, he just roped me in, and they grabbed me and didn't let me go. And now I'm the president.
Again, my story is similar. I have had the pleasure of knowing Professor Kuhn at Alabama A&M University, who has brought in the theater program, which I do not believe A&M has had before that. Don't quote me. But things just sort of happened, and she said, I think you'd be good if you did this. And we both kind of jumped into the fray with that, and that's how I became a part of Bulldog Players.
Awesome. Well, so very just off the cuff entries into it. What were your first projects with the Bulldog Players?
Mine was very recent. It was the Midsummer Night's Dream that we just did a couple months ago at the beginning of the fall semester.
Awesome. So honestly, I have to say, how are you guys enjoying Alabama? Because it's very different.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving waking up to these hills in the morning. Like the view from my apartment of these hills. I feel like I'm in LA or something.
They call us the Tennessee Valley.
I enjoy the scenery. I just love seeing the mountains far off in the distance. It just has a very serene and peaceful vibe to me. So I love that. It's very different from the hustle and bustle of Baltimore City. Yeah.
Back to the real topics, though. ANANSI is the project you guys are currently working on. We had a guest artist come in and speak with you guys and walk you through what were some of the things that you guys learned having someone here to kind of guide you through the playmaking process.
I learned a lot. I've learned how to pick up more things on the fly. I've learned how to be more creative and be more open, I guess, because creating something from scratch, there's so many different elements and there's so many unknowns and, random things that just kind of come out of nowhere. But when you get done, it's just becomes so beautiful in a sense. And it's really trusting your partner or trusting who you're working with that'll get you to that next step, get you over that hump.
For me, having the guest artist there, it offered us a unique experience into both sides of playmaking and storytelling, and where the two intersect. And that was a different perspective that I just don't believe I've had the opportunity to sit in a workshop and experience. And that was very cool. I got a chance to see how stories that have already been around and been told in many different ways, whether it was word of mouth or being written down in a book, how that can translate into becoming something on stage for a targeted audience like children. Um, I thought that was very creative and very interesting. So I'm grateful for that experience.
Mhm. And speaking of stories, walk me through, where are we at in terms of the story that's being told?
For this play, the children that'll come and see it and their parents, I believe it'll be storytelling in a old but renewed way with how the story is told. It's actually going to be someone telling you the story of Anansi. And Anansi's that person that is mischievous, may get into trouble often, but their heart is in the right place and things turn out fine. In the journey that he goes through, in the trouble he gets in, it's really there for the greater good. And I think that's what's important. Whatever he chooses to do, we may not agree with how he does it all the time. It may dance on the good or bad scale, but at the end, his heart is positioned to get a result that serves us all better.
And then, here, if you want to give me just a breakdown of the plot.
Okay, so basically, first thing is we've got these angry kids who are just very confused in the world because there's no real communication or connection. So Anansi comes in and basically restores that, because originally his stories were stolen from this other guy who basically gave him all of these impossible challenges that he had to gather up all of these things in like a very quick time. So he first goes up against a leopard, and then a snake, and then a bird, which is like this most delicate bird. Like, she's the queen of the bird.
I fear there may be some bias here in this description of the birds.
I can't confirm or deny, but nonetheless,
I think you might just have to come watch it to find out what the deal with that answer was.
there's lots of puppets. There's lots of props, costumes, like the details, the set design is phenomenal. And I really think that anybody that comes out, they won't be disappointed.
So going back to, stories being stolen and stories having to be shared again, what's something that you guys want people to get from this story?
I would say that the one thing I think that everybody should walk away with is the fact that you are worthy. No matter what your story is, no matter how it started, it's not about how you start things. It's about how you end things. So, and without the journey or without getting there, there will be no story to tell. So I say that just live your life to the fullest extent that you can, and really embark and embrace your story and embrace on sharing that, because without sharing it, we won't learn anything from anybody.
And I think that we should be excited about authoring our own stories and enjoy the bumps along the way and embrace an ending that we didn't plan for. For some reason, no matter what we endure in life, and I think that's what these stories kind of tell us, regardless of what we experience, our story is unique, it's signature to us, and we should embrace the journey as well as the end result that only leads to the next part.
Yeah, embrace the plot twist.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Oh my goodness, I feel so inspired.
We're fortunate to have this. Yeah, I feel like we are fortunate to have Alabama A&M University and HBCU partner with Fantasy Playhouse, knowing the reputation that Fantasy Playhouse has. It has, 65 years? 65 years in history in the community, bringing theater to young children that go on to be the actors we see on TV, and to cultivate such potential in a place like this, for us to come from an HBCU and have a chance to be a part of inspiring the generations that will follow us. That's not only a responsibility, it's a privilege and it's an honor. And I enjoy that. as an artist. I think that is a beautiful, beautiful opportunity.
I've never heard of nothing like this before until it was introduced to me, and I was like, oh.
But I do think that is something that is very incredible about this space in this area, is that we have had so much support from the Huntsville City Arts and Culture Grant Program, Alabama State Council of the Arts. There have been so many people who reach out and are like, we have to make sure that students get their opportunity to shine, get their opportunity to be on stage, get their opportunity to be a part of the arts, because arts education is so important that a lot of people don't realize how much you truly do learn from the arts until they're missing. We're lucky to be in a space where all of that's fostered. It's fostered and it's really accessible. And we try to make it even more accessible as much as we possibly can with things like your Theater for Young Audience programs, with things like the partnership with A&M, where it's, we are actually employing students and getting y'all paid.
Opportunities, even down to transportation, like picking us up, dropping us off, having vans, having vehicles available. Like, that is insane. Like, it's such a thought that's just so absurd, but it's like, it's real. And it's really like making fantasies come alive, which is crazy.
It's a lovely collaboration. We're doing this work not because it's gratifying just to us and serves our individual ego. We're doing it to help someone else along the way. And doing that through the arts, we get to be very creative in how we do that. And our responsibility is to make sure that our art inspires other people. And this collaboration offers us an environment and an opportunity to do that. And I'm totally in love with it.
Cash, you put in so much extra effort to make sure that the theater that you're providing for young students is excellent. You're not just going, oh, gosh, I guess for class credit, I'll go do this. You're giving back to your community. And then there's the community pouring back into you guys, like what you said with the transportation and the support and do you guys need anything? What can we do? Can we make this easier for you guys? I think it's a really beautiful thing that there's so many hands reaching out to be of support. That, is something that we don't appreciate a lot, but you know when it's there. Yeah. You definitely know when it's there, and when there's a community of people who are like, we must see this thing survive. And then you have, people who grew up in fantasy that are from the beginning, who go on to be NASA engineers or, leading a team of 500 people. And then they go, yeah, I grew up in fantasy and I learned so much of this from fantasy. That's, I think, an amazing thing to say. I mean, is there anything else you guys want to share about ANANSI?
I am looking forward to how it will be received. This was a very fun thing to cultivate and create, and I enjoyed working with the people that were crucial to making this a success. And I think we did create something that'll be accepted well. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
Yeah, like this guy here, he's being humble. But when I say he literally was our musical director throughout this whole entire process. Him and another writer, they've created the music for this project, like all of the music. This guy.
And he wasn't going to say anything about that, which is crazy to me. He just wasn't going to bring it up. What are your favorite songs or like moments that you've written so far for this play?
It would be the bird song. Yeah, the song for the Yoni bird, and the theme song for the entire show. I mean, people are already singing a loop of the vamp or ANANSI, whatever. They're doing all of those things already. So I can tell that it's going to be received well. People are going to remember that music, and I'm excited about that.
Music is definitely fire. And there's like a motif for every time a new character enters. There's a new song, there's a new beat, there's a new tune. Yeah. And it literally was put together. The amount of time, like, it's honestly baffling to even think about how connected we were, because without that connection, it couldn't have been done.
I mean, you guys had 1 week, and it wasn't even a full week. It was like 4 days, because you had the day in the middle that was for script writing. But I mean, you had day 1, did a little bit, finished the intro, and then day 2 through 4 was kind of like hit the ground running, and you did it. Like, I don't know how far you guys are now, if you've done anything past the development week, but it was amazing watching it pull through to like the recording of the music. It was like the songs were written, beats were created. I remember sitting there watching and recording, and it was like, all right, oh, I like that. That's
there.
That's it. That's what we're doing.
You were there, loud, live, and in color. We were there. Yeah.
And I can't wait to put it together. But it was, I mean, you guys just happened to be, so in tune with each other that you were able to go, we're going to keep that bass line. I think these are the words. This is the snake. Let's go.
You saw me right in my element, didn't you?
Because it's a different thing from like when you're writing for adults. You can be a little bit more subtle. You can like lay hints down and kind of hope that the audience will pick them up. But kids, you have to be like, this is a snake. This is the snake's motivations. This is what he sounds like. This is a snake. And you have to do that for every single character you introduce. And when you pull them back, you go, hey, remember that snake from before?
Yeah.
Same guy.
In an entertaining way, mind you. Like, it can't be dry, but it has to be clear cut. It's such a fine line, like, but I think we accomplished it. Yeah. We did very well.
Normally, we focused on performing for people our age and up, adults rather, more mature audiences, and to take it back to being creative in a way that suits children tastes is also very refreshing. It was a little bit of a learning curve, but it was fun.
I will say something that I want to bring up. I don't know if I told you guys individually or I told someone else, but it is interesting seeing, because we were talking about, stories coming from different places, and you're pulling them together for young audiences, for new audiences, for people who may have heard these stories before. But I guess it's towards the middle of the end, or the end of the middle, where Anansi comes up to the bird and traps the bird. That was kind of a story from my childhood, but it wasn't with Anansi at the center. It was with Briar Rabbit. Yes. And I brought this up because I was like, wait a minute. Yes. I've heard this before. And it's so crazy how, we have these stories that teach us a lot of the same things, just different people, different times, different modes of telling it. Because for me, that was a bedtime story. Like, when I had a book, had Briar Rabbit on the front, and it was like 18 different, smaller stories, or however many it was. I don't know. It was like 6. But it's really cool to see things from like your childhood just like floating in the back of your memory. Because if this wasn't brought up in the play, I don't think I ever would have remembered that.
Thought about it
ever again. But that's a core. Like, when I think about it, I was like, yeah, it's a core memory that my mom used to sit down and read to me, and that was one of them. And it's so interesting. I can't wait to see like if there's any more adults in the audience who come back and go, wait a minute, I've heard that before. Mm-hmm. I know where that's from.
And it gives parents an opportunity to relive some of the feelings from a nostalgic sense in their childhood. And that's always great when you have the parent feeling nostalgic, and you have the kid who's having that experience for the first time. So that way, when the roles reverse 25 years or 20 years from then, it's another beautiful happening right there. So I think that's pretty cool.
Fantasy Playhouse Children's Theater Academy is a 501c3 nonprofit located here in Huntsville, Alabama. We've been offering excellence in theater arts since 1961, and we believe in making theater accessible for all. Our 65th season is presented by Redstone Federal Credit Union, with additional support by Alabama State Council on the Arts, Huntsville City Arts and Culture Grant Program, First Horizon Bank, Smart Bank, Rocket City Mom, and Minuteman Press Huntsville. To learn more about our main stage productions, classes and camps, and volunteer opportunities, click the link in the episode description or head over to fantasyplayhouse.org. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on the Boulevard.